Ryan and I have been trying to think of something to do because we both bring kind of different views to the table that both help aspects of a business. And so we've bounced ideas off of each other for a while.
Yeah.
And I think this is the first actually good one that we thought of.
This is episode number 19 of the Rose Bros podcast, where the idea is to share insights from other entrepreneurs, athletes, and cool people in general, all the while enjoying some nice Rose Bros coffee. This episode, we are joined by Ryan Morstad and Ray Shivji, co-founders of Local Box, a company that collects products made in Calgary and packages them into a single box for customers to purchase. In simple terms, it is a box filled with high-quality, made-in-Calgary products started after COVID-19 forced everybody inside and only essential services could operate. Ryan and Ray knew that the bigger companies would recover after COVID-19, but smaller companies that count on foot traffic, word of mouth, and sales would ultimately suffer. Hence, the Local Box was created as a way to support small Calgary businesses during this time. Also, Local Box contributes a large portion of their profits to the Alex Community Health Center, a housing and foods program that supports vulnerable people with issues such as poverty, trauma, homelessness, and addiction. We talked about the origins of Local Box, backwards government EI policies, good business books and podcasts, the future of Local Box, and a lot more. Enjoy. Ryan, Ray, thanks for sitting down. I appreciate it.
Yeah, thanks for having us.
Thanks.
Big fans of the Local Box. How'd you guys get into the Local Box? Whose idea was it?
Kind of, I guess, like a joint idea. Ray and I have lived together for a long time as roommates in Kensington.
Yep.
We love all the local businesses, and kind of right at the beginning of the coronavirus pandemic, we saw this really cool opportunity to support all these local businesses that really needed support because people couldn't access their goods or their shops anymore. And we knew that we had the kind of the skills to do it. And then because both of our jobs kind of, I guess, took it easy for the first little bit,
Yep.
A little bit less work and a little bit more flexibility. So then we had the time and the resources to dedicate to a project that was cool like this too. We both love to give back to the community in other ways too. We do tons of volunteering and community contributions. So we thought it was a really cool way to also donate a bunch of money to a really cool cause that we like to support too, which is the Alex Community Health Center. So yeah, basically it was a big approach like that where we can kind of tackle all of those issues at once through a really cool thing. So we thought, how do we get people to explore the entrepreneur community and the creator, the artisan community that Calgary has to offer while staying at home? And the mystery box idea kind of fits that perfectly. Also, launching a website and everything is pretty easy right now. So we launched a website, we got started, we sold through our first 50 boxes where we donated all of the profit to the Alex in a week.
Really?
Which was super cool. And we have 5 local vendors per box. So we supported a lot of those small companies when they needed it most. We donated over $1,000 to the Alex in the first week, and I guess we kind of went from there.
What is the Alex Foundation? Is that what it is?
Yeah.
So explain that.
The Alex Foundation kind of handles a lot of different areas. Basically, their main thing is at-risk people within Calgary. So you have kind of the homeless population, people with strong mental health issues and things like that. And so they help them with getting housing, they help get them food, they kind of educate them on budgeting and financing. And like what we really like about them is, I think, 2 big things: the mental health aspect, but they also, instead of just throwing money at the problem, they help set them up for the future so they can be self-sustainable and able to do things on their own long term.
Mm-hmm. Another really cool part of that too, I think, is the proactive approach. So they really try and hit the problem before it's an emergency too, which is really cool.
Always entrepreneurs? Have you guys always had an interest in business?
Yeah. This is the 3rd business, I guess, that I've started on a larger scale. I started
For people
Okay.
listening, this is Ryan speaking.
Yeah,
Ryan,
thanks. Sorry.
yeah.
I started my first business in university when I was at University of British Columbia doing kind of like a delivery service. We had this village that had Pita Pit and McDonald's and all these like food places, but it was like a half-hour walk away from res and nobody had cars.
Okay.
And I had a bike. So I would just bike over there, take orders on the phone and deliver people McDonald's when they're studying late at night.
Cool.
So that was cool. And then I got really involved when I moved back to Calgary in the river surfing scene.
Yep.
So I started a river surfing company with my cousin called Outlier River Surf, which is still running today, which is pretty cool. We sold surfboards and did lessons and all that kind of stuff.
I see those guys on the river sometimes. Maybe that's just recreational surfers, but also maybe your old business.
Yeah, definitely. And I would say that I probably had a really big part to play in getting a lot of people into that sport. It's super cool, unique Calgarian sport, and it kind of shows like the adventurous attitudes of Calgarians.
Ray, how about you? Were you an entrepreneur growing up? Was this your first business?
This is my first entrepreneurial venture, actually. I went to school and did engineering.
Okay.
And then graduated, worked at Starbucks for a bit, and then worked as a business intelligence consultant. So basically just helping companies from the kind of technology aspect just do better and solve issues through data.
Yep.
And Ryan and I have been trying to think of something to do because we both bring kind of different views to the table that both help aspects of a business. And so we've bounced ideas off of each other for a while. Yeah. And I think this is the first actually good one that we thought of.
Yeah, it's cool business for sure. Right now, Local Box is just getting going. Are you guys full-time in the business, part-time in the business?
I would say I'm probably about 15 to 20 hours a week right now. My full-time job is still about 35 hours a week.
Okay. What are you doing full-time then? What would you consider your 9-to-5 job?
Yeah, so I'm the president of the State Students Association.
Very cool.
That's my full gig right now.
Ray, full-time, part-time?
So I probably do the same, like 15, 20 hours a week on this.
Oh, cool.
I was actually laid off because of like a coronavirus-related temporary layoff.
Okay.
Doing the business intelligence work that I was talking about before a couple months ago.
Right.
So then this was a great opportunity, I guess, to start up and kind of fill up some of my time.
Absolutely. So plans for the Local Box, are you guys hoping to grow, or is it continue to be a nonprofit sort of business, or what's the plan?
I think it's super flexible right now, as is the environment. We'll kind of see where the needs of Calgarians kind of go and how we can adapt to those needs through this kind of very fluid coronavirus situation. I think both of us would love to see it grow. Mm-hmm. If we grow, we're able to support more Calgary businesses and we're able to help more Calgarians, explore these super, super awesome local products. So we'd love to do that. If we can expand to helping people in other cities, other provinces, and even other countries explore the amazing things that Calgarians have to offer too, that's definitely a dream of ours.
Inspirations? Do you guys have business inspirations? What were they growing up?
I would say our parents.
Okay.
And I think Raymond would probably echo that too. My dad owns a small business in Calgary in the finance industry.
Yep.
I know Raymond's mom recently started a health clinic, which is pretty cool.
Yeah, she started like a Medi Spa in Bridgeland. She's been doing really well with that.
Okay. You've always kind of been interested in business and engineering and whatnot. Ray, was your plan to graduate and go in an engineering related field, or did you ever plan this out?
Honestly, so when I was going to school, like high school, I was really good at science and math and found it interesting. So I thought, hey, engineering kind of fits that, right? And then in second year, you have to choose your actual discipline.
Yeah.
So I chose mathematical just because the more computer related stuff and things like that really interested me. But then when I graduated, I realized there's so many different areas that you can kind of apply that skill set to. Huh. It's ridiculous. So then I was just when I found out about business intelligence and data and things like that, I was just like, yeah, I'll dip my feet in, see what it's like.
Yeah.
And yeah, I like it so far. And I think it helps aspects of like starting a company, starting Local Box, because then you can use that analytical skill set.
Yeah. Ever thought about going to work in tech or something along those lines, or is your own little business the goal?
So the consulting company I was working for is kind of considered tech. It's not really software or making apps or anything like that. It's more like the back end, looking at databases and kind of helping companies be more efficient with that. But I've definitely dabbled, like in my free time, I like to do trainings and things on stuff like app development and cloud architecture and things like that.
So how do you think COVID has affected the local box business? Has it been positive for your business perhaps, or negative, or in the middle?
It's hard because it really depends on what sector you're in. So for instance, like your client is like an oil and gas company, it really hits you, right? Because a lot of those people who need to be in places physically around a lot of people aren't allowed to go to work.
Yeah.
And then so obviously that lack of inflow of money is just going to trickle down, right? It's going to affect anybody who's in that process. But there are also some clients that we had who they were actually asked for more work. They wanted kind of reports made on, okay, how is this coronavirus going to affect my business, and where my area is this affecting money flow and things like that. So in some aspects it actually increased, but in some aspects it decreased. It just kind of depends on the industry, I think.
Right. But local box has kind of been building in this scenario, it sounds like.
Yeah, it was definitely a good timing for local box, because I think the two main aspects of it are one, people are getting experience with all these local vendors that they didn't know about, which kind of could apply to any time frame. But the aspect of supporting local businesses is especially key right now, because it's really when they need it.
What do you think is going to happen when COVID kind of subsides? Are you worried about local box, or do you just keep going?
I think the plan for right now is to keep going. We obviously have to kind of be fluid and flexible with the times and just kind of see what people want. Because I'm not going to say things won't change at all without this pandemic and all the restrictions, but I think that there's still opportunity, right? There's still opportunity to get to know your local vendors and to support local and to experience all these great products.
Yep.
And I think too, to kind of echo that, the world has changed with this.
Yeah.
And so many people who maybe didn't know about online shopping or initiatives like this, where it's like a mystery box type thing, have now experienced it, and now they're aware of it. And I imagine that they're probably going to change the way that they purchase goods, change the way that they shop, and change the way that they experience local vendors.
Right.
So we're hoping that this is something that carries forward into the future and even helps us grow once COVID's done too.
I think I've read the online shopping for companies like Shopify and Amazon has never been better.
Yeah, exactly.
Yeah.
Does Localbox use Shopify for its fulfillment and backend?
We're Square. We use Square.
Okay.
We tried Wix for the first bit, and then Shopify, and then Square. But Square's been pretty good for us so far. It's pretty easy to use.
No Shopify.
No, for payment processing, we use
Stripe is the payment processor, and then I think Squarespace uses Square as their commerce platform.
Yeah. You guys use Shopify?
We're all Shopify. I mean, pretty
Cool.
simple for us, relatively inexpensive, and just seems to work. So,
Yeah.
Amazon plans to get on Amazon at all?
I would love to get on Amazon, and that kind of fits with the thing that I was talking about getting people around the world, or around the country at least, to be able to experience Calgarian products.
Yeah.
We're not quite at that scale yet, I'd say.
It seems like Amazon just provides a huge market right out of the gate.
Yeah, I guess it does. I think we're looking into it, but because we're reselling, local vendors' products that are typically more expensive because they're created locally, and we donate a portion of our profits to charity too. Our margins are pretty small.
Right.
So that's kind of like where we're at with Amazon right now. But it's definitely something we're looking to explore more as we grow.
Yeah.
What's your experience with Amazon?
Our experience is pretty good. It's competitive. It's a big market, competing against every coffee company out there right off the bat. But you also get in front of the eyeballs of all of Canada. So it's kind of a yin and yang. Do you guys plan on increasing what percentage do you give away now? Is it 100%, I think?
So we were 100% for the first 50 boxes that we sold, and then we went 10%.
Okay.
Yeah.
We're 10%
Yeah, it's on
right
the
now.
website. You can see it there.
Okay.
Yeah.
There'll always be a portion of the company that's giving back to a cause.
Yeah, that's the goal.
Yeah.
Always the same cause, different causes?
Right now, it's the same. Right now, we have one. It's the Alex that we donate all of it to. But we were actually talking about that the other day. Like in future boxes, let's say we do a Christmas box, right? We can do like 100% of the profits from the first 50 of those go to the
Right.
mustard seed, which is like a homeless shelter in Calgary. So there's definitely other ones that we want to support in the future as well.
Mm-hmm. I think kind of the idea behind that too, though, is we try and stick with the real local charities too, the local organizations as well. And I think that's a really unique part of our business model. Everything we do, everything is local. Even the box that we buy is by a producer in Calgary.
Right. When you're finding the products for the box, how did you go through that process? Was it just looking around at who looked cool, or how did that work?
Markets.
Yeah.
It's all about those local markets. Farmers market, websites like Market Collectives Market, they've got all of their vendors on there. So basically we just looked around for everyone who's really active in the community and look like they would have kind of the stock and the ability to participate in this, as well as through networking through our friends. We got pretty big networks of friends here in Calgary. I've got a pretty big network at the State Student Association as well, with lots of student entrepreneurs.
Yeah.
And then I used to organize vendor villages for the Slam River Surfing Festival as well.
Okay.
So I had a lot of connections through that. So we kind of leveraged that to really find those cool products.
I think we talked about this, Ryan. You found Rose Bros through Instagram?
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah, we did do a lot through Instagram too, through the shop local hashtags.
Interesting.
Yeah.
Well, that's good to know.
Yeah. Yeah, and good for you guys for showing up there.
Yeah. Who knew? So right now you're trying to get message out for local box. Is there a lot of spend on advertising for you guys? How does that work?
Yeah, definitely. So the kind of, I guess I would say the method that we're going for right now is just a social media strategy, because I'm not really sure the other methods right now. So lots on Instagram and Facebook.
Putting
for sure
ad dollars into digital platforms.
Yeah. And the contests and stuff too. So we can get lots of people sharing the idea and sharing our posts,
right,
and that kind of thing. We actually find a lot of our customers hear about us through word of mouth too.
Okay.
So a lot of people buy our boxes as gifts for someone else, and then it kind of creates like a chain reaction. So that's kind of cool.
How about Snapchat, LinkedIn, YouTube, any of the other platforms?
Not yet.
TikTok?
Not yet.
Not TikTok.
Do you guys have a TikTok account?
I don't.
There's
Do you?
No, do you use TikTok?
Rose Bros has a TikTok account, yes.
Really?
Awesome.
We're going to have to check that out.
Yeah.
A lot of the content on TikTok is questionable, but I would say, where else do you get in front of millions of people potentially overnight?
Yeah, true that. Hey.
That's a good point, yeah.
Caught onto that with Gary V. I'm not sure if you guys are Gary V fans or not. Gary Vaynerchuk, no?
Yeah, I've seen a little bit of his stuff, like YouTube videos and things like that.
Right. In the future, all digital ad spending, is that the plan?
We'll see. I think the opportunities are there, and I guess we'll jump on them if we see cool opportunities.
Is there a plan for the business, or are you guys just kind of seeing where it goes?
It's just so new right now.
Yeah.
Yeah, we're just really trying to stay flexible. I think, like I said, the plan is to grow if we can, but I think what the first thing it's going to take is for us to, grow our team a little bit too.
Yeah.
So
like we found right now, we'll have kind of more longer term plans, but because it's so new, we kind of have to adapt week to week, change things pretty quickly.
I would imagine fulfillment's a bit of a headache. How are you guys dealing with large orders? Is it just the two of you, or have you had to hire people?
So right now what the process is like is just usually Ryan and I will go drive and like pick up the products, obviously, and then we get the boxes and we just kind of pack them all ourselves. And right now we kind of split the delivery just between both of us. So it's when you have to deliver a lot of boxes, it's like it's not the best, right? Because it's a lot and it's pretty time consuming. So Ryan was saying like we really want to get a delivery driver, but basically a lot of people are on EI right now. Right. People who used to do delivery and then aren't doing it now, or used to have other jobs that could do delivery now. And so if you pay them a reasonable amount delivery fee, it lowers their EI premium, how much they can get per month. So it ends up not being worth it. So for instance, like let's say for 50 deliveries, if we pay someone like $250, the amount that they lose from the EI they were getting makes it so they only made $20 for that 8 hours of work, right?
Interesting.
So it's just not worth it to them because we've asked a couple of our friends and there's like an EI calculator online you can use.
That is
and it's
bizarre.
So it's super funny because it's just I feel like that system kind of just prevents people from working unless they're making more than the
government.
I don't know what it is, like $1,000 biweekly or something, right?
Okay, it's incredible. So have you had a hard time finding good, reliable delivery people then?
Well, so far we haven't done it yet. We've just done it ourselves.
Okay.
Just Ryan and I, just because of the options we have. That was the issue we ran into for right now.
Yeah.
And then the other people who could do it were very expensive, like the more like bigger professional companies, I guess.
Right.
They're really expensive. So right now we're doing it ourselves, but hopefully long term our plan is to get a delivery driver and to eventually to get people to help us pack the boxes.
Very cool. Have you seen demand go up as the pandemic's gone on, or is it kind of been the same the whole time?
It was definitely the biggest at the very beginning.
Okay.
Kind of after the first people started reposting about Local Box. It was the biggest then. And then if you look at, there's like an analytics thing you can look at on Squarespace. So there's the curve and then it kind of levels off.
Right.
And gets more even. So I guess that's just like another like learning opportunity there is to kind of see like what engages people and what do people want.
The Local Box subscription box now, do you guys think you'll add another product or service to the business?
So right now we have 2 products up. We have the Comfort Box, which is kind of, I guess the idea is to be comforting items, but it's more just a random assortment of locally made items.
Yeah.
And then we have what's called the Hot Bevy Box, which is it's beverages, so things like coffee, tea, hot chocolate. That one we launched really recently. And then we want to kind of get into, our plans is to kind of get into like holiday related things.
Okay.
I think that's a really good opportunity. Like you have Father's Day coming up.
Yeah.
So hint, maybe we'll come out with a Father's Day box.
Okay. Well, we'll talk about that at the end of the show, announcements. But,
yeah.
Okay.
But we want to keep things kind of, we don't want to describe everything that's in each product. We want there to be some aspect of surprise to it. So I think that kind of like really adds to the Local Box brand. I think it's that exciting, like, oh, what's going to be in here, you know?
Mm-hmm. So do people know what products they're getting in either box right now beforehand?
They don't know specifically. So they know generally from one of 2 things. Either on our website, we have a description of the box, but just not specifically what's in it, just kind of to give you a general idea. And then also, obviously, if you go on social media and you see people's stories of them opening boxes and things, you can kind of get an idea of what things you might get.
No official list of when you buy the box.
Yeah.
Books. What do you read for entertainment, inspiration, education?
I would say the 2 topics that interest me a lot are psychology. I read a lot of psychology books and a lot of biology type books.
Okay.
If that makes sense. So like right now I'm reading a book by, I think his name's Max Lugavere, and he spent his whole life trying to figure out what we do on a day-to-day basis, whether it's diet or activity or things like that.
Okay.
If you can actually kind of prevent some of these mental degeneration diseases that happen. He like lists a lot of promising research in it.
Who was the author of that book?
Max Lugavere.
Okay, cool. What else are you reading?
There's the Happiness Hypothesis. I think it's by Jonathan Haidt.
Okay.
Haidt. I don't know how to pronounce his last name. It's Haidt.
Okay.
So I think it's spelt. So that one's like a psychology one. He basically just goes into, tries to relate old beliefs, whether they're old religions or old cultures, and kind of shows if they hold true today.
Okay.
Too, just based off the studies that have been done. And then another one was, can I swear on this?
Yes. There's no rules.
The Subtle Art of Not Giving a Fuck.
Yeah,
and then
Mark Manson. Yeah.
By Mark Manson. Have you read that one?
Yeah, for sure.
Yeah, and then his follow-up book, I forget what the second one is called.
Yeah, I haven't read that one. No. I subscribe to his weekly newsletter though. I find it's entertaining.
I really like just how he conveys things so straight up. How like your foul-mouthed buddy would talk to you, you know?
Yeah, he's got to have a contemporary way of communicating, it seems.
Yeah. How about you? What do you like?
I have a pretty wide list. Everything from business to, I just started Dune, the sci-fi classic. You ever heard of that one?
I have heard of it. I haven't read it.
Frank Herbert. just finished Walden, Thoreau. I'm not sure if you've ever come across that one. The guy
Haven't come across that one.
lives in the woods for 2 years on his own.
Oh, interesting.
So a bit of a fiction kick these days, although that one, apparently that is nonfiction. So kind of read a little of everything. So a lot of business books and whatnot. And
What's your favorite business book you've read that you think like has actually helped you?
the favorite or the best that's helped me, I've read most of Warren Buffett's annual reports, the Berkshire Hathaway reports. And
Okay.
I would suggest to anybody reading those right from the beginning, because it's the best business learnings I've ever had. You know, I did a BCom at U of C, I've worked for the last few years, and reading those is the best thing I've come across. So that's what I would suggest to anyone on business.
Interesting. I'll put that on the list.
We have a link on our website, actually. We have Goodreads, and that's on the top of the list for the rosebros.ca. So
That's sweet. I like that.
kind of a nerd in that sense, read a lot. And did you?
Me too, man.
Yeah. I mean, you're supposed to keep learning after you're done university, right? And so that's always.
I think that's the idea.
Yeah. Coming out of engineering, did you read a lot, or was it mostly the technical side of things, a lot of math problems and whatnot?
A lot of, so in like math, once you delve deeper into it, you do a lot of what's called proofs.
Yep.
It's literally like you read essays of work, but it's math.
Yeah.
So it's just insane. The rate at which like you can read a page of, let's say, like a normal book is way faster than like you can read this stuff. But so I mostly for school just read things like that related to textbooks, I guess. But in my spare time, I've always been a nonfiction guy.
Okay.
It's kind of hard for me to read fiction. I don't know why.
Mm-hmm.
I really like a lot of nonfiction topics.
Good shows? What are you watching these days? Do you have time to watch shows?
I just finished watching Waco.
Okay.
You seen that on Netflix?
No, I'm not a big show guy.
It's basically, I think it's like a mini series based on a true story. Like, I don't know how accurate anything that's based on a true story is, right? When it's reenacted, but basically about this kind of religious group / perceived cult in Waco, Texas a while ago. I think they're called like Devonian Christians or something like that. And it's just kind of the FBI interactions with them. And the one guy is, I don't know what the actual title is, but he's the negotiator kind of. So he negotiates with them and talks to the leader of this cult about like how to try to get everyone out and stuff. And I think like the psychology and just how messed up it all kind of seems is super interesting. So I really like that.
Podcasts? Any good podcasts other than the Rose Bros podcast?
Oh no, that's all I listen to.
That's the best one,
Rose
right?
Bros every day. Yeah. I've gotten into, I always like to listen to Joe Rogan every now and then, just when it's a guest that I am kind of into.
Yep.
He's good because he's just straight up, and I think he knows how to lead a conversation pretty well.
Yeah.
I also listen to one that's a fitness one. It's called Mind Pump.
Okay.
It's like these 3 guys who have been training people for a long time, and then they're good because they at first they seem like they're just kind of meatheads who just talk about doing bicep curls, things like that. But when you like actually laundry. Yeah, exactly. But then when you really listen to it, they're really holistic. Like they'll talk about the mental benefits of things like this, and they like reference studies and things. It's really good.
Joe Rogan, the fitness one. What else?
An investing one I listened to. I don't remember what it's called. I think it has like some sort of a comedic name to it, like a play on words, but I don't remember what it's called.
Okay.
It's a good investing one just because I decided to get into investing and trying to learn about it with this market crash.
Yep.
So I just thought it was a good opportunity. How about you?
Joe Rogan, Tim Ferriss, the Rose Bros podcast, The Knowledge Project, Shane Parrish. I'm not sure if you ever come across him, but really good.
No.
He's a deep thinker on a lot of subjects. He has a lot of investors on. He had Bill Ackman on about 2 or 3 weeks ago. You'd probably enjoy that.
Interesting. I like Tim Ferriss.
Tim Ferriss, yeah.
I've listened to some Tim Ferriss stuff.
Yeah, he's good. That's about it. I heard Ed Calderon on Joe Rogan yesterday. I'm not sure if you ever listen to that guy, the Mexican. He used to work Mexican government security and moved up to the States. And so he was just describing the Mexican situation and how bad it is down there. I had no idea.
Interesting.
Yeah, so.
I'll look into it.
Yeah, so a lot of that. Speaking of Tim Ferriss, 4 Hour Work Week, great book.
Okay. I've heard of that one. I haven't read it. That sounds pretty ideal, the 4-hour work week.
So that's why it sold so many copies, I think.
Yeah. It's like, how do I do this?
Yeah, exactly. Well, getting back to Local Box, let's touch on that. Any big announcements coming up? Anything we should be aware of?
We're looking into potentially starting boxes for every like major holiday.
Okay.
Not just days that people would get off, not just things like Family Day or Christmas or things like that, but things like Mother's Day or Father's Day or things like that, right? I don't know if there's I guess Valentine's Day. I don't know if there's like a girlfriend's or boyfriend's day, a brother day, things like that though. And I know Father's Day is coming up, so we've been talking about that a lot.
Well, I think that's a good snapshot of Local Box, the two founders, Ryan and Ray. I really appreciate you taking the time to go through things and whatnot.
Thanks. I really appreciate you guys having us on and for partnering with us. We've actually got compliments on your coffee. Ryan's girlfriend was telling us her friend really liked it the other day.
Well, that's great to hear. We appreciate it. We also like to give back. We plant one tree for every bag sold, so that'll support reforestation. We'll leave it there. Thank you.
Sweet. Awesome. Well, have a good one.
Hey, everyone. Thanks for listening. Hopefully you enjoyed the show. If you liked what you heard, head over to rosebros.ca where we will have upcoming episodes. You can also find our coffee and chocolate there, where we plant one tree for every bag or bar sold through our partnership with One Tree Planted, a non-for-profit organization focused on global reforestation. Otherwise, until next time, happy coffee drinking.